Always forget the thing in the microwave. I love the thing in the microwave. What's the thing in the microwave? Pre-show.
Test. I can hear you.
Yeah, test.
Sorry.
Rants of Izzo show pre-show here. Spreely Media. Oh my gosh. It's Monday. Yeah. All right, kids. All right, I got some stuff I just got done. I had to turn off my inner gangster. Sorry if no, you didn't get to enjoy that behind the scenes little dance venue with me. If you're enjoying this fantastic show on one of the other media platforms, you only get a little bit of it. So if you are consuming the pre-show, enjoy it. We just kick back. We kind of do a little bit of call. I always try to do a call to action, but I'm always trying to do the behind the scenes shit going. Like, I think I got my volume way too friggin' high on this one. Let's lower this one down. Whoa. I'll be piercing some earballs, I think. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so here's the deal. Go to Spreely.com to check out all the things that we have there spoken freely. Speak freely, right? Because I know a lot of you are bitching about social media censoring me. For the love of God, I've been posting compliments on Instagram last couple days, and Instagram's like, no, this is violating of our community service standard, blah, 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 blah.
Adjusting transmitter output.
That was pretty cool.
Jeez. That was a glitch. Sorry.
Doesn't that angry millennial kind of looks like Howie Mandel?
Well, I was going to say Anna Faris on steroids. Sorry about the crossover.
I don't know who Anna Faris is. Who's Anna Faris?
Scream and... no, not Scream. She did like the stupid, ones to Scream where she Scary Movies, and she was the main chick in Scary Movies.
She hot?
Yeah.
She's kind of hot.
Yeah, depends.
Kind of hot. It is what it is. All right.
Your level.
We have literally 1 minute till we go live. If you're listening or consuming on another platform, appreciate that, but we want you to go because you guys are so. I like supporting American businesses, and I'm all about support, but you don't fucking go from your big box platform that you complain about nonstop. Twitter censoring me, Instagram censoring me. Oh, did you know that Spreely.com does not censor? Yeah, but then I have to go there, and I just don't want. Shut up, the fuck up. All right, I've had 2 cups. I got rid of my K-cup shit. Well, I don't use it. Bought a Cuisinart because I was getting way too much. I was getting way too much caffeine with my stovetop Italian espresso maker. So I'm like, I'll make a pot of coffee. And now I had half a pot of coffee this morning already. I'm fucking jacked. Let's do a show.
Good.
All right, let's do a show.
Good.
All right, guys. Spreely.com. Spreely.com. Enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, go fuck yourself. See you in a second.
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominick Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
All right, welcome to the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. It's Monday, the 25th of March, year of our Lord, 2024. I'm your host, Dominick Izzo, and sitting with me in the co-pilot chair today from the Dumb Show is Matt Spear. Matthew, which do you prefer when you get formally introduced?
Doesn't matter. I'm completely open.
All right, Mr. Spear, so if you're given the staff of power, right, you are the emperor of the universe, and you have control of politics, right? Let's talk about politics for a second. How do you feel about the current state of social media and your politicians? Meaning, I clearly didn't vote for Eric Swalwell because I don't live in California. I think he's from.
Did you say Eric Swallow?
Swalwell.
Oh, I thought it was Swallow. Is that the Chinese spy fucker?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the Chinese spy fucker. He puts out.
I got it.
I don't know if you saw his tweet, and I don't think I'm making a big deal about this shit anymore. I'm going to pull it up for you to see on the shared screen. In all capital letters, he puts up a picture of Trump with the lawnmower boy and says, "Can you put me on an installment payment plan?" Yeah. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that tweet, right? I don't even want to talk about this one. I don't want to talk about this one that's got it's got no dad in my room, and he says, "Don't threaten me with a good time." That's just fucking creepy, but maybe we'll get to that one. I don't know about you, but when I was a cop, we had like social media policies. We had things where we couldn't be online and crap like this. Why are our government employees wasting fucking time and money and tweeting like this? Am I wrong for saying I'm so tired of both sides taking to social media? It seems like that politics is the easiest job in the world now. You get to be paid to be a professional troll and you don't do fucking shit. Did we allow this?
I think we enable it. And I think we emulate it. I've said for a long time that political ideology is no longer a simple set of values where we differ on 4 or 5 points. It used to be, small government, big government, family values versus, more practical application to the masses, lower taxes or give, tax breaks and increase taxes, national defense versus populism. I mean, there were some very few and far differences between Democrats and Republicans, especially blue dog Democrats and conservatives who kind of fell a little bit more towards the liberal or middle when it came to social policies. And that is where we stood for a better part of most of our history. And once mass media came, you saw this political ideology, NBC and ABC, change the colors of the political parties and flip them because one was more, considered to be, ominous and dark, and one was be more affable. So Democrats got blue and reds got, conservatives got red. And they started, doing these small things that just kind of went away from that we were all classic liberalists, which is exactly where our political ideology came from in every party, and came to this diametrically opposed on every single viewpoint. So my thoughts is we should wear sports jerseys. And it's not like that one. It's not like the one where you see Robin Williams, where he's like, they should wear NASCAR stickers on political, politicians. I'm talking about the actual citizens. This is like the way people treat sports. It doesn't matter how bad it is for America. It doesn't matter how many times they fumble or how many times they get a blocked kick. As long as the other team is doing worse, they're somehow satisfied. And it's the most antithetical thing to progress I've seen. So we enable it and we exemplify it. And as citizens, we're like Pavlov's dog, man. We're ringing the bell, and all we do is just emulate these fuckers. I don't understand why we like any of them.
That's what we get for sitting back. I blame Trump for this, and I actually blame us for this because we liked it with the whole, and I did it. I was part of the problem. The grab him by the pussy. I defended that left and right because I talked like that all the time. I'm a middle American. Mm-hmm. Locker room talk. I'm tired of my masculinity being attacked and blah, blah, blah. And when I started to be vocal on social media about, listen, I no longer support Trump's bullshit rhetoric with his attacking everybody. Do your fucking job as the president. Be a little bit more. I would like to see a little bit more Obama-esque in him or Reagan-esque in him. I don't care who says what. I think that Americans are used to the actor in office and not the actual person. And I wish that Trump would have gone a little bit more to that. But now you're seeing it because we do it, right? I mean, I do it. I don't know about you do it. I am me online. I'm not running for office. I'm not in a position of authority.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't give a shit about it. I'm tired of Marjorie Taylor Greene shit. I'm tired of anybody on the right shit. I'm tired of everybody on the left shit. This is all they do, and they get paid for it. And it's pissing me off that we allowed this. So I am for I'm not for censorship. I'm for full-on muting anybody who's a public employee, that they have zero personal opinions being put up online ever. I don't think that should be done fucking at all. Do it safe for the campaign trail. You get in office, you follow through for that, but I'm kind of tired of that.
It used to be, real quick, it used to be that you would have property rights that would be challenged between two disputing towns, or it would, what's that?
No, I get a feedback. Go ahead.
Is it on me?
No, it's on me.
Oh, okay. So you would have an irrigation issue, or you would have, some sort of overall tax or levy that was put on the town where people would have to go and petition the government, and they would go and be legislators, and the town would nominate people to go, and then they would go and represent and the greatest thing about that is that it would come in session. They would go in, they would get their legislation passed. They would talk about what they were experts in, which was very specific and defined. You didn't see blacksmiths coming in, talking for ag. You didn't see ag talking for, the Chamber of Commerce. And they would come in and they would argue their points. And these different states or city, municipality, townships, or from a federal level would argue their points, and then they would go home. And they would, they would get their, their per diem and their food, and then they would kick their ass back to town, and then they wouldn't be seen in Washington again. Now, who makes these people experts? And that's what interests me is, please tell me the qualifications of being a legislator. What are, right now, the only thing it means that you watched a shit ton of Jerry Springer and you pop no-dos and you're qualified, because these people somehow are everywhere all day, all night. There is some ass bag with a mic in their face telling me what I believe. And that's the problem, is that they're supposed to represent us. They're the constituents speak for these people. You represent us, yet you don't speak with my voice. I haven't been represented in Washington since Reagan. So it baffles me why we pretend that this is the way it's supposed to be. But when you ask, is it our fault? That is our fault. We surrendered our rights, our natural and God-given rights. We allowed them to slowly, by 1,000 paper cuts, destroy our republic and turn it into not a representative democracy, but an autocracy.
Is there anything can be done about it? Can anything be done? See, I think we need to start going like Parliament, throw chairs, rip off wigs. Jim Jordan, get your old college wrestling days back in gear, man. Drop Jerry Nadler on his head. Come on, let's get to it.
Yeah,
but
the British tried that. The British tried that, man. England is like 20 years ahead of us in the failure that is what would be considered a theocracy from a visual standpoint, but truly a republic. It's more of a democratic rule. But that's the thing. If you take a look at democracies throughout history, whether it be the Greeks, the Romans, or anyone else, or the 26 that we've tried to instill across the world, they've all failed. We are the only considered thriving democracy, representative democracy with a constitutional republic that's been successful. And we are slowly realizing that it wasn't successful. We are just delaying the inevitable, where we allow these personal politics and these political parties to come in and divide the true meaning of what they're there for, which is to do exactly what we tell them.
Do you think we're coming up at our end?
Yeah. Yes.
I've had this. Maybe I've had this discussion with you, and I think we first talked about this when you were first on.
Probably.
I said years ago that I was under the impression that every nation that's had its heyday was about 200 years. I'm like, well, we're well over 200 years. But somebody told me that you're not a superpower until you're able to attack from where you're at, and we weren't a superpower until we dropped a bomb. Do you think that we're like at the tail's end of this wonderful experiment in government, or?
No, because we have geographical. This is what we talked with Mike. We have geographical superiority to anybody. So no, am I afraid of an invasion? No. Am I afraid of a foreign country taking us over? No. Am I afraid of financial crisis and all that? Of course. I mean, all those things you got to look at. But what I'm talking about is we're talking about where the system that we currently have no longer has a seat at the table in the world. It's where people say, okay, you know what? Fuck you, United States. We're done. We're going to treat you like you treated Germany and we treated Japan and Versailles. We're going to go ahead and ostracize you from conversations. We're going to start coming together, and you're seeing a new axis of evil. Of course, that's what the media calls it, where Russia, Korea, South Africa, China are all starting to, and Iran are joining forces, and it's getting bigger. And really what's considered the allied forces has been getting smaller and smaller since World War II. And the reason why is because we've just wasted our time doing shit that doesn't matter. We're having these forever proxy wars. We just get up and leave, and then it turns to shit again. And we're there's just nothing we can do to get this process to stop until the world just says, you know what, we're done recognizing you. And how they do that is do what they're doing now. They're changing their currencies. They're forming up. They're helping each other with their militaries. They're starting doing collective resourcing on the things that they don't have, where energy is China's issue. So Russia's helping China. Well, shells and armament is Iran's strength. So they're helping Russia. And this is where they've relied on the United States. And eventually they're just going to say, we don't need you anymore. And then we're kind of fucked.
It seems as if the United States has been reliant on everybody else for the longest time, with the illusion that they need to rely on us, especially for like military aspect, right? I paid attention to this for the first time because I grew up ignorant and I loved it. I never really paid attention to politics until Obama got in 2008, and I said, this is my president.
Oh, yeah.
I liked ignorance was bliss. And I remember, I was in the nightclub industry when we invaded no, I was not. I was a cop. I just got hired. Holy shit. When we went into Afghanistan, wait a second. You would know this. Was Afghanistan the Gulf War, or did we invade Afghanistan after 9/11?
Separately.
Okay.
Separately after 9/11.
So
now we were proxy in Afghanistan. I mean, and that goes all the way back to Russia and Afghanistan and their Vietnam, essentially.
That was my point. Is I remember the common sense hitting me being a kid, and I'm watching the news, and it's, we're going to go in Afghanistan, and Russia's been there for 10 years and hasn't made a dent. And I'm like, what makes you think we're going to be able to? So when I started doing that, I realized that what Americans do that is not that ostrich in the sand. We used to talk about the Roaring 20s and how Americans were ignorant, and that's never left. We love just giving the keys of the kingdom over to our politicians like Eric Swalwell, Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we're entertained with the bread and circuses with their tweets and, oh, yay, go after your guy, go after my guy. These backroom dealings, which I think they're all in bed over, are what we don't pay attention to. And it pisses me off knowing we have zero recourse. There's nothing we could do as people who put these people in positions of power. And it throws us into crap wars like what the fuck is going on all over the place. Go ahead.
We talked about this, Dom. We talked about this on the show the other night live. Is the reason why we can't do anything, and it's not that the election's rigged or we can't find the right people. We have the right people, but the problem is that in any given Sunday, any given election year, any midterm, any primary, any challenging of a vacant seat, whatever it is, you're only going to be able to change out 33% of your legislation. And you're basically Congress, your House and Senate, only 33%. And unfortunately, that's like trying to boil the ocean, man. You can't do it one bucket at a time. And you only change out a handful of people, but the corruption is still there. And 66% of it's corrupt. You have to make a monumental shift. And it is how we change what we're asking of these legislators. We have to limit their time in Washington. In fact, we should encourage them not to do legislation in Washington. Washington is supposed to be a neutral free zone, and it's not. It's predominantly Democrat. It's Democrat run. The money is there. It's all liberal dollars, and it's spreading out exponentially. And you've got to find a way to annualize these people's elections and put them all on the same docket. Boom, we're putting up 100 senators. You've got 6 years. And you're ticking. And if we're not balanced and this box isn't checked and you're all fucking gone. There is no vote. You get fired by America.
That's the consequence of zero-term elections is politics is nothing more than empty campaign promises. Literally, politics is, no, I won't come in your mouth. Or just a tip, baby. That's all politics is. And then what do we do as guys? Not you, me. Well, sometimes you plead your case until you get what you want. And it's not rape if it's consensual, especially with the government and whatnot. So that's what politicians do. They push the issue. It's campaign promises is what can get me reelected. And they spend, if it's a 4-year term, they spend the first year fucking around and then the next 3 years trying to get reelected by just blowing the citizens as well too. I'm so done with our political system. It's a fucking joke. I'm so pissed off.
It starts, Matt, your buddy Matt said the best. Matt Couch he's right when he says It starts at the state and local level. The federal government is a waste of time. And it was a waste of time when the Federalists push it and the Anti-Federalists didn't want it. And that was the whole thing about our government is how do we go ahead and create a balance between the people who want larger government and the people who want smaller government, the people who trust the people and the people who trust the government. You're not going to get it at the federal level. That's like saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and influence the CEO by writing him a bunch of nasty grants.
No, that doesn't work.
No, so you got to hit the ground level, and the only way to do that is you have to affect your city council, because then that creates monumental change where a township, city, municipality sees this, and then the town oversees it, and they go ahead and change it, and then now you have districts, and then you have a state, and now you get 33 states who codify law. So the only way is that people like you and I, you say all the time that this isn't important. I'm not doing any important work. And it's completely not accurate. You're doing exactly what a citizen patriot should do. You have found your voice and you try to educate people on topics like this. Other people might want to run for office. Other people might want to be a speechwriter, be a dog catcher. I don't know, but
everybody should run for office.
Something.
Every single person, if you have an opinion, should run for office to see how unbelievably broken the system is. And no, it's a wrong word. That's wrong. It's not broken. It's the clique from high school, and it's just monetary and it's power. And again, I ran as a Republican out here in Chicago. There are no Republicans that have any integrity that I've met yet in Chicago. And it was the stupidest shit in the planet. I kind of want to move over on this for a second because the liberal media would just be stomping the shit over this. Can you explain really quickly who the Ragin' Cajun James Carville is for those who don't know?
Sure. James Carville, a political strategist. He essentially is responsible for Bill Clinton getting into office, and he's a genius. He's a very intelligent man. He's an asshole, but most geniuses and people like that are. But he's a political strategist. I've studied him and read his books. He's just he has a very unethical way of getting things done, and he was able to have a kind of a mob mentality, sweep it under the rug, or come up and lean up against somebody to get things done for Clinton that propelled him to the front, including digging up a massive amount of dirt on the people who ran against Clinton.
Why couldn't you just say
them personally?
Why couldn't you just say he was in Billy Madison on the debates?
He what?
Why couldn't you just say he was in Billy Madison?
Business ethics?
Yeah. No, this is him on CNN with Anderson Cooper. Remember, we had bloodbath last week that the liberal media exploded. I'm curious because you're military, so I want your opinion on this.
President Biden is not the best attack politician I've ever seen in my life, and I'll leave it at that. But there are a lot of people to do what I call, quote, the wet work, unquote. And I think like he needs to stay sort of a, well, it's kind of, but it's a paid TV and stuff like that. But yes, a CIA term. You take a guy out. But he doesn't need to do the wet work. People like me and other groups in the party need to do that. He's not very good at it. I don't think people want to hear from that. And then he can cruise along here at a better altitude. But this has got to be done, and they got a precious advantage right now in it.
Is that a big deal? What he said?
Sure, it's a big. I mean, listen, CIA. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of alphabet. Nobody says wet works. This is bullshit. Yes, it is a term, but it was a term predominantly in the 70s and everything else. There's just, it is what he's trying to say, and to help Carville a little bit and throw him a life preserver. It's, someone needs to take Trump out. But the difference between bloodbath is Donald Trump was clearly articulating lines about the automotive industry and how it's dog eat dog and they're going to kill each other over their investments in the EV. And once that divests and it fails, which it's going to, and it is, they're all going to be like swimming and fighting for the same dollar. It's going to be a bloodbath. And in the third definition of bloodbath in the Oxford Dictionary in Webster's, it specifically talks about an economic cataclysmic event where people kind of feed on each other. So he used it correctly. Carville says wet works, and versus someone saying you need to take him down, he's like, someone needs to kill him. He said it wrong. Yeah,
they changed dictionary. Here's definitions, Oxford language, which was just changed. Bloodbath, Noun, an event or situation which many people are killed in a violent manner. Quote, he allowed the protests to go ahead despite warnings that would spark a bloodbath. Carville, this is my thing. And so I'll give a weird analogy. I have seen over the last several years this increase in the term pedophile being thrown around all over the fucking place. All over the place. The conservatives love to throw pedo, your child molester, all this shit. It's like this is the pedo is the conservatives racist. How liberal, so racist all over the place. So yeah, today I sat there and I watched, I guess there's some Jewish rabbi who was fully clothed, sitting on a boy's lap, who looked like his relative, kind of bouncing a little bit, and the person posting it said, "Look at Rabbi so-and-so giving somebody a lap dance." Now, not really wanting to defend it, I started to type in, I'm like, okay, you can't really go this route because, that means anytime you decide to be a fun uncle and just go, wrestle with your niece or your nephew, you're going to get called a pedophile. I guess my point is I stopped. I didn't put that in there. Anytime over the last several years I've watched that any interaction with a fucking kid is going to be, they're going to take it out of the context and label you a pedophile, I fully stopped interacting. If like my nieces or nephews want to come up, you got to change so-and-so's diaper, not going to happen. I avoid.
No. I
avoid the fucking problem, right? That's my point is, if you know the media is going to take shit out of context, and Carville is a extremely smart man, why the fuck would he say that when you know exactly what the word is used for? You know exactly what the media could, but they won't crucify you for. I can't comprehend why a man as smart as him would say that. And then once again, the liberal media will never expose him for that and attack him the way they attacked that bloodbath comment.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons. The guy's fucking 80.
Yep.
That's it. He's 79 years old.
He's sharper than
old.
Biden. He's sharper than Biden still.
He's sharper than pretty much anyone, and he will be. I mean, the guy's, listen, I don't like Carville. I think he's an asshole, but he's my kind of asshole.
Yes,
he's sharp,
yes.
He's quick, he's fast. Yeah, he's fast. It's like, I don't care. And you ask him anything, he's going to give you an answer, and you're not sure whether he's full of shit or he really knows what he's talking about. He's my kind of guy. I love that. But he's 80 years old, and he used something, and then you could hear, because that's the great thing about studying people's pantomimes, and you can hear him go, whoops, I fucked up. So he stops, and when he's asked, when Anderson Cooper goes, well, that's a military term for, whatever. And he's like, yeah, but he kind of was like, that's not really important right now. Let's move on. You could hear him say those words in that tone, but he said something else. And so it comes down to that. I don't care. I don't care that Trump said bloodbath. I don't care that Trump said I could take somebody out and, Fifth Avenue and shoot him and my people would still vote for me. None of that shit bothers me, because the only thing I care about are actions. I just care about your results. I don't have to like you. In fact, for all politicians, we don't even have to have a relationship. I don't want to see you on TV. I want you to do your fucking job.
Goes back to what I asked about the tweeting shit. Now, we grew up in a time, do you remember the telephone cords that were attached to the wall? Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I grew up terrified as a kid. You were kind of warned. Never use the words kill and president in the same sentence. Yeah. We were warned that as a kid all the fucking time. And these people have no problem saying it on both sides. It's like they push the envelope when it comes to anything because they know. I guess that's it. Is my biggest problem is definitions are being changed. Literally. You just put up the definition of bloodbath was literally changed over the weekend. Literally.
Yep, I know.
And
why do you think I screenshotted that? I had that screenshot for the last 2 weeks now.
It blows me away. Racism was used to be, the definition of racism used to be that your belief is that you are a better, like a human culture than another race is, and now it's just any type of discrimination whatsoever. They keep changing definitions. They keep moving language.
Bigot in 1560, bigot essentially meant that your religious belief, you felt it was superior over other people, even if you understood that it wasn't true. That was what a bigot was, and they expanded it to everything. Now bigot means racist, and I called the guy who didn't want to bake the cake for the gay couple. I said, if he wants to be bigoted, that's absolutely his choice. And everyone flips out on my show and they're like, how dare you? And I'm like, first of all, fuck you. If you have a problem with, you don't like my opinion one time out of 3 years, I think I'm doing fucking awesome. But second, bigoted isn't an insult. I'm sorry, I use the old English and I use the language the way it's meant by definition. And if you don't understand a word or you don't understand the context or subcontext, you can always come to me and say, how are you using that word? Can you please give me some context? Sure. This is what it means. He's using his religious beliefs, which are that marriage is between a man and a woman, and he's applying that to a person, which is a bigoted point of view. Whether you like it or not doesn't fucking matter. That's the truth.
I don't like you. I don't like your opinions. I don't like your opinions at all. We have to take a break. I don't like your, so I hate you. That's just so.
Whatever.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Kids, this is the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. I haven't taken a break in a long time because the conversations are so good, but this is a good transition into another topic, which it's just going to be fucking ridiculous. Go to Spreely.com. When you're on Spreely.com, you're going to see all ways to consume and support this free speech American network. Why would I do that? Because you bitch about shit on every other platform, so go to Spreely.com. There's a social media site where you could speak freely, hence Spreely. Say whatever you want. You want to complain about me? Go ahead. You can contact the CEO, Chelsea from HR. Will get a hold of me, and we will laugh behind your back about your complaint. So feel free to do that. Check out the schedule and the other shows that are on there, like The Dumb Show, which, Matthew, how can people consume The Dumb Show?
They can go to thedumbshow.com or news.thedumbshow.com or find me at The Dumb Show across all social media. And we're on 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for your perusal.
Not bad. And you got bigot, a person who is intolerant, hateful towards people whose race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation is different from their person's own. What's wrong with that?
That's the new one. That's the new one.
Okay, so
I'll show you the old one in a second.
Yeah, when you really think about it, who cares? You could be that. Guys, support the show in many other ways as well too. Do you like to read? Are you somebody who is incoherent with the human language? Learn how to read English with my book, Before the Badge. Everything you need to know before you become a cop. If you have somebody who's a loved one who thinks that, oh my God, they want to go into law enforcement, what should they do? Go buy them this book on Amazon or Words Matter Publishing or Barnes & Noble. Before the Badge, everything you need to know before you become a cop. It's going to tell them the reality of the industry, the business that it is, the goods, the bads, the ugly, and maybe if you buy it for somebody who is a cop currently, it will reboost their passion for the job. End of story. All right, I want to talk about this. Do you know what gaslighting is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say a reference to see. Well, here's your old big from French: a sanctimonious person, a religious hypocrite. Okay, yeah, they keep changing the fucking definitions. Now,
yes, they do.
Have you ever? I already know the answer to this one. My mind works in movie analogies. Have you? I don't know if you ever remember the HBO series Dream On. It was with Martin Tupper. It was I think Dream On was the first.
It's pretty good
cable TV show that led into everything else we have today. It really, and what Martin Tupper did was every time he was faced with a scenario, he would get a flashback to a television show from the 50s and 60s that he watched as a kid. My mind works in the same way. You've seen The Great Muppet Caper, correct?
Yes.
Now, I use this analogy for gaslighting all the time. Lady Holiday is in the supper club with her brother Nicky, who's played by Charles Grodin, and she's wearing this fabulous necklace, which is not the baseball diamond, that's stolen at the end. And she goes, I just feel like thieves are breathing down my neck. And Nicky, who it's later revealed in the movie that he's the bad guy, leans over to her and goes, thieves aren't breathing down your neck. And as he says it, as he breathes down her neck. That's ultimate visual of gaslighting, right? It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm going to play something that's been circulating. It's fun. It's a conspiracy theory-esque type of thing. I think this is the next big thing that's going to be hitting. Could be hitting. We'll call this a little bit of like borderline QAnon stuff, if you will. Can you see this?
I can. You used to be a Qer.
Oh, huge. Fucking huge, dude.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, huge. I'm going to play this for the visual audience. And
well, imagine your vision is totally normal, and then one day you see demonic features everywhere you turn, just like this. That is the reality for Victor Shera. He has an extremely rare yet terrifying disorder called prosopagnosia, or PMO. Sufferers see parts of other people's faces distorted in shape, texture, position, or color. For Shera, that means grotesque grimace, elongated eyes, and deeply etched scars. Also, pointy ears. Shera shared his story in a study published yesterday in The Lancet. There are 81 known cases of the disorder. Scientists say people can develop it after a brain injury, tumor, or infection, or after seizures.
dude, that's the next big thing. You're gonna be labeled a fucking crazy person. This disease or symptom is called prosopagnosia. It's a visual disorder characterized by an altered perception of faces in the perception of the person with the disorder. Physical features, it's in Wikipedia, of course, include drooping, swelling, discoloration, shifts of position. You think of a movie like Devil's Advocate or any movie out there where like the demon faces shift and like the person is the only person who can see it and everyone around them like, no, you can't. That's going to be the new thing. That's going to be how they wind up hauling people off. I'm gonna walk down the street. It's going to be They Live, pick up a pair of sunglasses, look at somebody, go, holy shit, it's a lizard person. They're going to go, Mr. Izzo, we don't see anything. You got to go in the loony bin now. You're going to be going down in the padded cell. We're going to put you in the internment camp now. I think this could be very promising on the powers that be and their way that's going to wind up fucking kneecapping us next. This is going to be so cool.
Like lizards wasn't enough.
Dude.
Now it's evil goblin trolls.
V. Right, everything, man, everything. You remember the TV show V with Mark Singer from the 80s? It was great. Yeah. Maybe now this is the time where they're going to mix Project Bluebeam and lizard face people with prosopagnosia. Fucking sounds like that pink sock fucking disease. I don't remember. Priapism. No, priapism.
You know, they did the same thing with microplasia.
Well, what is that? I've heard of that before.
Dwarfism.
Okay.
So, how dwarves were demonic and unable because they were young demons and they enveloped the human body and then they couldn't grow to adults because of their demonhood and shit.
Oh,
I mean, this is all. I don't participate in this stuff. I don't.
Oh, it's fun though. It's fun.
No. It's fun for you, but
yeah.
I grew up a mother who believed the National Enquirer was real, and she also had 156 IQ. Do you know how difficult that was for me? I'm like,
so let me ask you. Hang on. Wait a second. When you're that intelligent, do you think that maybe there is a need? Like, again, movie analogies. You ever see the Man of Steel, the Superman reboot?
Yeah.
When Clark is growing up, his senses kick in. He sees through everything. He hears everything. It's like a sensory overload. He's got to focus to make sure that he kind of dumbs down his senses. Do you ever think that somebody like your mom had an IQ that's so friggin' high that she has to dumb herself down? Otherwise, like when you know everything, life is just miserable.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. No. Nope.
Neither one of us are a fan of our mothers. Yeah.
No, because she's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And so I believe that's the reason why, one of the reasons she's crazy is she never figured out how to deal with ADHD and her obsessive compulsive. And then it turned into manic and became depressive. And then it results on all the kids, but it's neither here nor there. Intelligence doesn't mean that you have to go ahead and dumb yourself down. Just like a stupid person doesn't need to up themselves in order to have a conversation with you. Civility is is all, mutual exchange and altering who you and how you present yourself. And those are all things that are hyper awareness and self-awareness to know, hey, I sometimes talk over people. Maybe I should listen a little bit more. With you on this show, I have to exemplify patience, even though there are times where I go on forever. Everyone has to learn those things. But my point is people who actually believe things like the earth is flat or the moon's made of cheese or this other stupid shit that the Nazis are in Buenos Aires and Antarctica.
No, they're on the dark side of the moon.
I can't fucking take that.
They're
stuff.
on the dark side.
And here's why. The way my mind works, and I've tried to tell my viewers this, is I don't believe anything until I read it and can go ahead and pass the smells and sniff test. And I can smell a lie like a fart in a car. So I read it. And if I find one thing that's not right, one thing, I completely just destroy it. Because if you lie about one thing, you're lying about everything. I truly believe that in one way or another, you're putting something in an article or a news piece or your opinion on Facebook. And if you blatantly lie, and then you start pulling the thread, you'll find more. And that's all I need to go ahead and start finding the right area.
How frustrating is that stuff? Because that's exactly what politicians do. When you look, there's a video going around. It does not look real. It's of, I got to find it's of Trump, Biden on one side, Obama and Pelosi.
Yep.
And Biden says, and this is where that same outrage, I don't care if a person says the earth is flat. It literally does nothing to my life. I don't care. If you woke up tomorrow and you proved to me that the earth is flat, it would change nothing in my life whatsoever. When you have Biden,
it would change everything in my life.
Well, okay. Biden saying that Trump told us to inject ourselves with bleach. I don't care how much you fucking hate Trump. You cannot be in a position of authority like the President of the United States, blatantly lie like that and not be held accountable. So I agree. This is and maybe that's just it is. I don't know where to blur the lines of free speech. And I don't know how we got back to this, but it did. All I remember is as a cop, if you were ever caught lying, your job was over. You could get fired.
That's right.
You were put in a book where you couldn't testify. I don't know how you'd keep a job, but as a politician, as the president of the United States, you're allowed to lie like that and not a fucking thing will happen to you. I honestly think that he should be and this is not Secret Service, I don't give a shit. You lie to that magnitude, which you know is going to outrage people. It's going to get people beating the shit out of each other at family dinners over this crap. I think Biden should be forcibly removed for office when he lies like that. Any politician who puts something up online like that, they need to be turned over to the people. End of story. And that needs to be a threat of violence against them for lying like that. I don't know how I got in that, but
I think it's a good one. I mean, listen, it's called accountability. And if our elected representatives, they're not our leaders. I can't stand when people say they're our leaders. They're not our leaders. They're elected representatives. If they're not held accountable, then how do we go ahead and have a standard in this country of acceptable behavior in the workplace and society, et cetera? To go back, the reason why I say it would change my life if the earth was flat is because that destroys so many concepts in science. I mean, that would change fundamentally eclipses. It would change lunar tides, navigational systems, longitude, latitude. I mean, it changes everything. So when you start doing shit like that and saying something like that, that's changed the world, right? And when people said the earth was flat, it stopped us from traveling because we afraid we would fall off the edge. Once there were people who came out and said, okay, let's go ahead and talk about the earth being round, more of a sphere or a globe, the people started challenging and pushing further and further because of it. So what my point is that when people say things, extraordinary things, and we just talk about gaslighting, we'll bring it all together. When they talk about extraordinary things, Dom, you better have extraordinary evidence. Because if you don't, I'm not even going to fucking listen to you.
Yeah,
I won't even, when people are like, I just want to tell you something I'm thinking. And I'm like, is this opinion or fact? And they're like, I think it's fact. And I said, forget, we're not talking. We're not going to talk about this. Tell me. Yep. Go ahead.
No, I fell down with that QAnon crap. You're right. Because I sat there and it's like we talked about that at break. That stuff played on where my factual brain wanted to go. And I would base it on religion because, again, I'm faith-based, went to Catholic grammar school, and my direction will go, wait a second, if the Catholic Church has their Sunday
That's right.
perpetuation of the, because it is Holy Week, but hey, it is Holy Week, by the way. Here's my PSA. If you are faith-based and you're a practicing Catholic or Christian, Protestant, whatever, I don't give a shit, and you go on social media and you put your little Bible verse in the section and say, it was Palm Sunday, Christ is King. But then again, you go on and you shit on everybody else in your fucking life in the comments section. You do your holier than thou crap for the week. You're not, you fucking just stop. Just stop. But anyways, because it's going to happen. I looked at the QAnon crap. I was like, wait a second. They're drinking baby blood. That makes sense. No.
Someone said you did a show on Androcom, and they came up and they reported to me because they're like, you need to go help Dom. And I'm like, I'm not going to help Dom.
No, that was years ago. And here's how I do stuff, right? So because I don't know about it, I present the information that people presented to me, and you let people, I'm not an expert on it, so I'm not going to educate anybody on adrenochrome or any kind of stuff like that. The whole Vice News, which is now out of whack, which fucking thank God.
Oh, they told a trash paper.
I went to do an interview with them, and they did 2 hours and 15-minute interview with me, and I recorded the whole fucking thing on my iPhone. I had it in my vest pocket, all this shit. They took 5 minutes out of it. They made me look like a transphobic racist, but they still put up stuff where I never said, like I used the proper words, right? I don't know if this is real, but if it is real. So I never say X, Y, and Z is happening, but I believed in all that stuff because they played off of my emotions for my current solid beliefs. And I think that's what people, those like the flat earthers. So the earth is flat. The earth is flat. How do you know? It's flat. The Bible says a lot of shit that I 100% believe in as well too. But I tune out of that crap. You can prove it that it's sphere. I don't doubt that.
Well, the thing is anyone who's done any Halo or high altitude jumps knows that that's the problem. Just go do that. But that's anecdotal evidence, and that doesn't work. But let's talk about an eclipse. So we see
have
the
one
moon
coming,
passes
right?
through the shadow of the sun when the earth blocks it, and you see the moon go ahead and eclipse. That's fine. So you're seeing the exact circumference of the earth. It's always a circle, right? It's never a sliver, or it's never a half of it. When a full eclipse happens, it's taking the full eclipse of the moon. If that's the case, then that would mean every single full eclipse that we've ever seen, that the flat earth would have to be exactly representing a circle every single time, no matter what position it was, even though we know that they traverse at different speeds and different times. So therefore it shows you it's a sphere. That's the easiest way to tell you. There's no other explanation, because in no time have we seen a lunar eclipse literally just be a quarter and then it stops. No, it goes through the whole progression and that's it. It's simple.
It's not like the Truman Show? It's not like the Truman Show where it's a patch of rain comes up from a malfunction?
It is. Okay. Of course, listen, I'm hired to tell you what it isn't.
Sure.
So I'm not yet. No, that's not.
Well, clearly, if you go on Twitter, everything is the fault of the Jews. So let's just go with that for right. We'll just transition from that.
That is true, man.
Yeah, it's always the Jews' fault.
What's the big topic today?
I wanted to talk.
We've been all over the place.
Yeah, that's what Monday is. I wanted to talk about the article you wrote. I wanted to sit there and kind of have you plug that one. You just wrote an article. It's up on your website, news.thedumbshow.com. Selective empathy, who mourns for Russia? Give us a breakdown. What was this all about? Because we did, for those who don't know, Russian gunmen, not Russian gunmen, gunmen who are allegedly from ISIS. But wait a second. I thought Trump got rid of ISIS. They were paid, I'm going to give a real big bullet point thing. They were paid about $5,000 US to go into a concert hall, shoot at people. Over 100 people were killed. The next day or shortly after, some of these suspects were found, one of whose fucking ear was cut off by the Russian military and fed to him. And then they streamed it online, which I thought was the greatest thing in the world. Oh my God, it got me so sexually aroused. It was great. And I have no problem admitting that.
Wait a second, you're only mentioning one. Wait.
The other ones showed up in court. Like fucking, yeah, he fell down some stairs, as they would say in America, like two or three times.
Dom, you're missing it. If it turned you on about the ear, they strapped 2 electrodes to his testicles. as two caught. No, this is true. 100%.
Oh my God.
As two, and I confirm this. So not only did I see it on Telegram, I'm like, okay, I'm starting calling some friends. It's confirmed. Cop stood on his thighs, double locked his knees together on his side. They strapped 2 electrodes on his testicles, and they ran 120 volts through him.
Good. And
they did it for hours.
I'm not. I have selective type of empathy. I have no sympathy, none whatsoever. And I try to put myself in a position of, okay, were those men so desperate, so brainwashed, this and that in life? What would $5,000 fucking dollars do for them to go kill 100 and some odd people? What does that mean? Okay, but them right there, that is a person who is beyond mentally lost. It's like, hey, I could have sympathy for them, empathy for them. They need to be eradicated from the nation, for the world, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care. I guess I've also been pushed to the fact where crime is just never addressed. So I'm kind of glad that another country's showing us how to do it. But your article, Selective Empathy, Who Mourns for Russia, give us a run through on that.
Yeah, pretty simple. I'm not a fan of Russia. And your tweet, which was, I thought, freaking fantastic, because great minds, says, so thoughts and prayers for Russia, or did the media and liberal left not give you permission yet? And it really kind of triggered a thought, and I started writing. I worked most of my career in the theater, and we would look at Russian naval movements. Sorry about that. Hold on. Sorry.
That's
sorry. Hit the wrong button. We would do Russian naval movements. We would do counterintelligence. We would do geopolitical analysis, all that. So I worked a lot of time working against Russian intelligence groups, whether it be the military or KGB or remnants of the KGB or other facets of the apparatus. And I have no love lost at all. In fact, I despise Russia in so many ways. And everyone goes, well, World War II, they were our friends. No, they were never our friends. They were a convenient ally to kill and destroy, arguably a bigger threat.
Do you want to get into the rumors of why Patton was killed? I'm sorry, why he died?
How about we do? Sure, we can do that after we do this.
Sure,
cool?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So anyway, so I just started looking at all the things. You look at October 7th with Israel, the initial reaction was 100%. And everyone was so afraid to dip their toe in the water of being anti-Semitic that everything was good. It was all about, let's love the Jews. Let's feel sorry for them. Let's everyone change. And then slowly a couple people like Jake Shields and Dr. Anya Waka, her name, and whatever else, these people, Stu Peters or whatever his name is, would come in and start dipping their toe into anti-Semitic statements and realize that it started catching on like wildfire because Muslims were coming in and giving them millions of likes. And these pages just fucking blew up, Dom. And you can see it in Twitter where people have 2-3 million followers who nobody knew who they were 6 months ago. And you look at Columbine, which we lived in Colorado at the time.
Oh, so did it literally happen? Oh, no, that Columbine's not the one I'm thinking of happening. What's the one that Sandy Hook?
Sandy Hook. I don't know. Listen, of course it did. But I don't. Yeah, that's the one I'm kind of like, I don't touch. I'm not going to fucking play with dead kids. But I just think that so many people pretend to, in Paris, 2015, they changed their.
Oh, my God. You remember this just started to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm showing support and solidarity. I'm going to change my Facebook picture to overcasting the Paris color flag on my profile.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that help shit? That's what we are. As Americans, we will complain about shit. And this goes back to what you were talking about on a local level. If it's federal, if it's out of country, how many people are bitching about Israel, about fucking everything else, Ukraine, but you don't get your asses to a town hall meeting? That's why I can't stand our way of life, and I think it's just so fucking lost. I put that up for Russia because I know nothing. Like, I will not get engaged in any type of conversation. I will put up "fuck Ukraine" as a tweet because I'm tired of sending money to them. I'm tired of it. Yeah. I'm just tired of it when we have an invasion going on here. As far as the political aspects between Ukraine and Russia, I don't know anything about it. But if insane gunmen go in and they gun down 100 people or thousands of people and kill 100 plus, yeah, it's like, wait a second, why are we not showing any type of empathy towards our enemy whatsoever. We should be at that. So that's what my tweet was for. I won't put in.
And is Russia our enemy, by the way?
I can't tell you. I'm not educated enough in understanding that. I also
has Russia ever attacked the United States?
I don't have an answer for that. Not to my knowledge.
No.
Not to.
No, the only thing that Russia has ever done to the United States is a secret war between Khrushchev, Reagan, Gorbachev, etc., sending in KGB and Politburo members versus the FBI, and there was a huge, massive thousands of death of agents being murdered and killed who were trying to infiltrate nuclear facilities, etc. That secret war took place, but Russia's never attacked the United States. They've done a lot of shit. I'm not saying Russia's good. I don't like Russia, but my point is, are they the enemy of the United States? Truly, I think it's a question.
I don't know. I want the middle American ignorance, right? Ride my motorcycle, go to the gym, play with loose women, and just, I don't even play video games. I haven't played video games in 20 years. That's
your cover, dude.
That's what I don't. It goes back to like we were saying about the education. I don't want to be. Dude, ignorance is bliss. Are you kidding me? Ignorance.
I wish. Yeah.
The problem with this is there's no line drawn, right? This is not. Here's the red coats, and if you're red, you're a bad guy. Oh, hey, if you're gray, you're from the South. If you're blue, you're from the North. You don't even have an identifiable fucking enemy for shit anymore, right? And it goes back to that. It's hard to be focused it's hard to be confused if it's hard to be focused if you're confused. So you could be outraged every day over shit, but there's no clear drawn line in the sand of anything anymore. It's always like they toe up to you. Here's what you got to be outraged about it. And then you never hear anything about it again. I want something to happen because I'm tired of just being in a position of always stressed, always in yellow, always ready. The cortisol level spikes. The stress hormones like crazy. It's like, when the fuck are we going to pop off here? Jump, frog, jump. Nothing happens, and I want it to go to shit. Just to get it over with.
Get real quick analogy, because you're a porn guy. I mean, you always talk about. I don't think we've had an episode where you haven't said the word porn. Well, you haven't said the word. Okay, I didn't say you're a porn. Okay, you're not a porn like maker. My point is that we always seem to talk about porn or tranny or something like that, and that's fine. There's great.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's this whole thing Bill Maher says, and I'm a big fan of Bill Maher. And see, this is why I'm probably haven't went to 1 million followers, is because I don't have a compass when it comes to doing the right thing in the right, because even the right doesn't even know what the fuck they want to do. I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She voted for McCarthy, and then she sits here and says, now Mike Johnson, the most Republican fucking Christian conservative ever had, is a traitor. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, quick.
Yep.
So in porn, Bill Maher has a theory. He's like, listen, porn is a gateway. And he's like, I smoke pot. I've done cocaine. I've done LSD. And those things are gateways. But with porn, you start off pretty simple. You do it, you see a guy and a girl, they're in a missionary position. You're like, yeah, that's awesome. And, you do your thing. And then a month later, you're like, it's not doing it for me anymore. So I'm going to throw
5 black guys, a couch, and a midget while all jerking off a horse.
Right. And then you throw in a donkey and, all this shit. And you're like, what the hell's the same thing has happened with American politics and the news media is it started off with, okay, let's give them the Gulf War and let's blur out the freaking explosions and people being, just completely eradicated in the blood marks. And then, whoops, we allowed a blood mark. Oh, holy shit. Our user rating went up. Let's go ahead and allow a little more and a little more. And finally, what they've done is the same thing has happened with these terrorist organizations and these kids doing these shootings. This shit never fucking happened when we were growing up.
Dude.
And trust me, not to this level.
Yes.
No one was shooting 11-year-olds in the fucking head like this. It's getting worse because they're trying to outperform and outdo what the other guy did 6 weeks ago. It's getting to a point.
You sense it, your desensitization. Do you remember when, I don't remember what show it was, but they said shit on TV for the first time? Or was it NYPD? It was what, NYPD Blue. Was it NYPD Blue? We saw Dennis Franz.
I remember.
Dennis Franz's ass. Yeah. It's like, oh, they're going to show an ass on TV. It's like, holy shit, dude. They kept pushing the envelope. That's what I'm saying. At what point is it the air raid sirens go off and it's like, we're done. Do what you want, guys. Do what you want.
I don't know, man. I think everybody worries about this stuff. I think it's amazing when you turn off the TV, how life just gets so much simpler. And every weekend we have the answer. We disconnect from work. we turn off the fucking TV, we go outside, we do something, and then somehow we go back and do it all again. If you watch Bill Cosby, I got 30 seconds. Bill Cosby himself, one of the greatest comedy skits of all time, even though he's a fucking rapist, and that's not important. We didn't know then, so we can watch it. It's okay. We don't have to cancel Bill Cosby. But he talks about going out and having a good time. And he's like, I worked all week, 60 hours, and I'm going to go out and get shit-faced drunk, and I'm going to have a good time. And then, he talks about drinking and getting sick and nauseous and throwing up and being hungover and coming back Monday going, oh,
turn on the sweat machine.
You're right. Turn on the sweat machine.
Yep.
Reverse gears. And
Lords of
the
Acid,
answer.
they sampled that.
You know the answer. Do something different for God's
do
sake.
something
Turn
different.
it off.
Fucking, thumb up the butt never hurt anybody. Guys, it's Monday. Enjoy today. The Dumb Show, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find it on all. You can find it at thedumbshow.com and news at thedumbshow.com.
News.thedumbshow.com, and we got to do a burn pit 3-way.
Yeah.
sometime.
See, you bring up porn, and I bring 3-ways. Guys, have a great damn day. Go out and help somebody today, and if you can't help them, just don't hurt them. It's Holy Week. Don't be a pious, pompous, self-righteous Christian hypocrite cocksucker. See you guys on tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody.